some of the unique aspects of this project. So the actual fabrication installation of this vestibule was really a worldwide effort. The steel itself was fabricated in Hungary, over in Europe. It was then sent over further in Eastern Europe up to somewhere between Poland and Hungary as well to actually roll the steel and shape it back to Hungary, where it was fabricated in place. Once they fabricated the structure in place, upside down in the warehouse, it went to outside, and they actually pre-erected the entire vestibule over in Hungary prior to fully welding to make sure all the pieces fit together. Each of the colors that you can see on the map is its own piece. So you can see it was about 26 individual pieces all spread throughout, and they're connected with hand nuts and bolts. The team took great care in actually fabricating the steel to make sure when it was shipped over piece by piece on open crates to the job site, that once they were erected with the tower crane, that they would fit together in the prefabricated assembly.
So I actually started on this project December 20th, 2019. And we did all the exterior facade. That was during phase 1. Phase 2, this is where this came into play. And when we started looking at all the different schematics and everything of that sort, it was quite interesting because there's not a 45-degree angle. There's not a straight edge. It's all curved. And how are we going to install all this steel, support it with only 6 points of contact to the ground? So you have 3 on this side, and you have 3 on other side, and everything spans between those 6 columns. Okay. We call them plinths. So below these plinths, there's 6 foot by 8 foot steel plates that attach to the structure that are 3 inches thick. So plinths come down, and if you notice, none of the plinths are straight, so they're all staggered. If you see the seams, we had to rig those with chain falls to get the exact pick. So these first they lay down on the side, we had to tip them, pick them straight up, and then straight down. Okay. Because the way that the anchor bolts and everything, we couldn't come in at an angle, so we had to come straight down. Okay. We had scaffold built, and there was points on the scaffold where we had to support weight as we came up over top of the top and started coming back down. So every 6 to 10 feet, we had to have towers to come up to help support the weight of the steel.
We changed the landscape of National Mall by putting this canopy here. When I say we, the entire team, obviously under Smithsonian. So that's, I just want to make sure the magnitude of what the team has done here.
The scope of the project, there's about 1,000 micropiles that we installed on this project.
The purpose of the micropile work is to create a new basement level. So we went down approximately 20 feet from where the original pile caps were. The entire footprint has a brand new basement level, creating more office space, creating an auditorium, so pretty extensive work.
We started with an extensive load test program, and then we were pretty much just installing the micropiles for a few months or so. There was a kind of a sequential demo process that needed to happen where a global framing system, global bracing system had to be installed above the slab in order to demo the slab in place. And then before the pile caps were excavated and demoed, the columns themselves had to be lifted. So this is basically the bottom of the base plate as you see here. So once we had our shoring frame in place and we were ready to lift the columns, we unhooked the base plate from the cap to have some separation basically. And then when we actually lifted the columns, it's, you could just see barely a hair of separation between the base plate and the cap itself. So for some of these where we couldn't necessarily core through the pile caps, we had this condition at some of the other locations as well. We have a channel that basically spanned across the bottom of it to put thread bars on the outside rather than going through the middle. So just a kind of a variation of the same detail. It was kind of a very iterative design, right? Because it was dependent on where the demo could happen. The demo was sort of modular, and we had to look at where we need to put this lacing, this temporary bracing, to make sure that the building was still stable, basically, in each condition of the demo, in each stage of the demo. That was the overall idea for the design.